Hello, welcome to Dan Talk Spurs. It's my first ever video, and I thought this would probably be the best time now to talk about everything about Spurs, everything about Tottenham, and to summarize it probably in the best way I possibly can in say the next 10 minutes. So, without further ado, welcome to my channel. Welcome to this space. I'm going to use this space just to go over things that us Spurs fans can relate to. Whether you might be a Spurs fan, whether you might not be a Spurs fan, I think this is probably the best time to talk all things Spurs and why it is a very pivotal moment for us. Just going forward, like after the transfer window that we just had and just all the organizational changes that just taken place this summer. So let's begin with how it all started. So this transfer window we just had, if we was to probably rate it out of say 10, I would probably say it is at best about a 7.5, maybe an 8, but I would say a 7.5 just to be generous, right? And the reason why I say that is because we have missed out on some targets that we really wanted to get, but I think in the end we happened to claw back and get what we was looking for. So in that sense, I'm not exactly mad. I think it turned out to be a pretty good summer for us in that sense. So yeah, can't complain. I think that is it's been a pretty good one in regards to that. But more so, I think one thing that intrigues me a lot about our window is that we have made sure we plugged into areas that we were often lacking in, and you could see that with our starting number 9. Dominic Solanke's been out injured for best part of a couple of weeks now, and I have no idea when he's planning to return. They're saying within a couple of weeks. Spurs medical department can only answer that for themselves. Not really sure. They do have the best track record when it comes to ensuring that our players come back in a timely manner. But I'll give them grace here. We obviously have Richarlison, who started off fit and firing this season. 2 goals in 2 games. Played absolute blinder as well against PSG in the cup final. However, we still need attacking reinforcements, and ever since Son left, even though he has not been playing his best, he is still up there in terms of creation and being that creative outlet, being that playmaker, being the one that is contributing to assists and goals for us. So contributions, we are going to be missing that quite heavily now that he's no longer here. So we need someone to fill that in. And obviously we're now looking at our younger players such as Mattis Tell and Odobert. But from the looks of it right now, I think Thomas Frank is going to be sticking to primary just Odobert until Mattis Tell can prove his worth. He is also one of the other signings that we made this summer, who we made permanent for 30 mil. Whether that has going to be turning out into, or will turn out into a good signing, we shall wait and see. But for now, yeah, we have basically a prospect here that we are looking at, hoping that he could possibly become a superstar for us eventually. So just got to take the gamble. We also made permanent signings for our defence. So Kevin Danso, you could see with Thomas Frank and how he set his team up as well. We want to make sure that we have a team that can compete on all levels. Having Kevin Danso there was really important. He obviously offers a different dimension for us playing from the back. So Thomas Frank has set up his team, playing the team with a back 3, or you could play with him and another, so either Romero or Mickey. But another thing that is also worth mentioning is the importance of tying down Romero to long-term contracts. So since Son left, we needed someone to be a talisman, a captain, so to speak. So we needed someone to fill that void. James Maddison, out injured with an ACL, probably for the rest of the season. So we need someone that can fill in that void, and Romero is that man. I think Romero will be that guy for us this season going forward. So I'm really excited. I'm really happy that they've tied him down. So that's a really good thing. So having him, Danso, Van der Ven, Dragos, he's still recovering, but he's going to be coming back pretty soon. Archie Gray to fill in. Still jury's out Archie Gray for 40 mil, but listen, let's see how he develops in the middle of the park. And then obviously we can look at the likes of, having that number 10 replacement. So because Madison's now out and Kudu is still out until maybe the beginning of next year, we were looking at targets such as Morgan Gibbs White. Heard the bomber come through, fell through. So that was shortly after we signed Kudus. Kudus, brilliant signing. What we needed on the right, you can't just rely on Brendan Johnson to be that creative outlet. He can bag you goals, but he's not an archetypal winger. And Kudus could play either in the 10 or as out on the wing as a creative outlet. So he's been immense for us, and we really did need him. So I'm not sure as to why West Ham fans could keep crying about his performances. He's been absolutely amazing. When he's on it, he's definitely on it. So he's definitely an important signing. We acquired the services of Xavi Simmons, which in itself is a statement signing. That is something that in my wildest dreams as a Spurs fan, I didn't think we'd even be able to pull off. I thought we'd probably lose this battle between us and Chelsea, because he was waiting around for Chelsea for quite a while. So I was just assuming that, okay, Chelsea going to win this race. But they didn't get him in the end. They just decided to go for Buonanotte and a couple other random players, these NPCs. And I'm here thinking, you're missing out on a great talent here. So that just baffles me. But we got him. So we got Kudus on the right. We got Xavi in the 10. And then who else do we add in? Randall Muani. Now he's the one where I'm like, he's a talented player, and I've watched him so many times, and even had a great little stint at Juve. But he's consistent. Not sure, but I think he'll be a bit of a needle mover for us. I think he could add a bit of quality for us that we were just often lacking in, whether he plays out on the left or as the 9. I think he'll be amazing for us in that sense. So to have him on loan for a year, I think it's a good signing for now. Hopefully we could probably turn it into a permanent depending on how he performs this season. So I'm really excited. I want to see what a front three of those three would look like, or play with Charleston up top and have those three behind him. It could be absolutely crazy. This is something I want to set up my FIFA team with. So I will do a Road to Glory season, and I'm going to build out a Spurs team with it. So that'll be quite fun to go watch the whole entire thing. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, can't wait. So yeah, we got that. So 3 of them. We've got Spence playing really well, tying him down. We've got Romero tying him down. Bentancur possibly was another long-term contract. So far so good. We're doing pretty all right for ourselves. But I think when it comes to how we are going to be moving forward as a club, there's no longer Daniel Levy. And if you've been living under a rock, you would have at least found out by now that Daniel Levy is no longer our executive chairman. He had stepped down as of yesterday. So clearly, there has been massive moves around the whole board. There's lots of reshuffling, lots of departures. It seems pretty clear what the intention is. They want to rebrand. And I'm here for it. I feel like Spurs need to do that now. They need to act like a big club. And I think Daniel Levy has taken Spurs as far as he could. I can only congratulate him on the stadium. I can congratulate him on the moves he's made out of football. But as often, success outside of the field doesn't translate to success on the field. And I feel like there's been times where he has been leaving us scratching our heads, pulling our hair out, because he doesn't get signings over the line. He misses out on targets. He often, again, makes it clear to us that there's some bigger priorities than football. And I think as a Spurs fan, or self-proclaimed Spurs fan, I do find that a bit disingenuous, really, when it comes to your own interests and put your own interests first above the interests of the club. Because this is a football club, this is an institution first and foremost. You should respect the institution. This is what you came into, so you should respect it. But anyway, he's no longer here. Or he still is in some capacity because he still has shares in the club. but he's not an acting chairman. So it'll be interesting going forward to see what Vinay does. We have Peter Charrington as well. I made a mistake on his name in my Sky Sports News interview. You could check that out. I'll clip it. We'll add a link to that in the description box below. But yeah, I do think it is a pretty interesting time now to be a Spurs fan. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, this is just a quick little summary of what I think we can look at going forward. I think we played well for our first two games. Obviously, we lost against Bournemouth, and we have a terrible record shortly before international breaks. We just always lose our games before international breaks, but this is probably an exciting time right now, to be a Spurs fan. It's something to look forward to. It feels refreshing. It feels like there's a lease of new life now almost. So it'll be interesting to see what the Lewis family now do, because essentially they'll be the ones pulling the strings from now on. Vivian and I believe Charlie as well. So it will be quite interesting to see what goes on. They are really into Spurs. They want Spurs. They want us to basically win the club. But we had our first taste of success of silverware in over 17 years and 41 years since our last European trophy. So this is already a big move. We should progress. We should really kick on. So let's wait and see what develops. But from now, and for now, what I can say is stay tuned. And there'll definitely be many more moments to discuss about. So, without further ado, it's been Dan Talk Spurs. And I will see you guys again very soon. Peace.